You're listening to the Voice of Islam Radio, broadcasting on DAB and via the internet 24 hours a day.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. Welcome back to this live edition of The Breakfast Show from South London Studios of Voice of Islam. We are this morning talking about education and ChatGPT and what role ChatGPT can or cannot play in the world of education, how useful or beneficial or otherwise the advent of ChatGPT in education is. Before we went on to the break, we were talking to James Fern, who is Director of Teaching at the University of Bath. And we are now joined by Kevin Curran, who is a Professor of Cybersecurity, Executive Co-Director of the Legal Innovation Center at the Ulster University. Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. A very warm welcome to The Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for joining us. Tell us, how, in your opinion, can ChatGPT contribute in the field of education?
Yes, ChatGPT is actually quite incredible. The content that it can cover and what it can generate. As in, it's kind of a paradigm shift in the computer world, really, that we've never seen something like this that came kind of out of left field and can do so much, really. But when it comes to education, of course, it can. It's not so much to be feared. Some people fear it's the end of everything, but when calculators came along, they helped us do long division, but, we didn't think that maths were over. In other words, calculators became a tool that helps, generations of kids now since they've come. But ChatGPT, of course, the worry is because it's so clever, it could create false content, of course, but it can help educators. It can help you, for instance, create education material like presentations or worksheets or quizzes. And you can tailor these to students' needs as well. And you can also use it for grammar checking and proofreading, and also you can even you can use it for providing feedback to students if you wanted to, for grading as well. And you can also help generate topics and lesson planning, and this is from an educator point of view, really. And for students, of course, students can ask ChatGPT questions about specific topics again, and then you can ask for further explanation within the middle of it as well. You can also reinforce concepts and improve writing skills, really. So there's a lot of things that you can do, of course. But of course, the thing you shouldn't do is just use it straight off to answer an essay question and submit that. And again, we've seen that a lawyer in the United States got into a lot of trouble because they used ChatGPT to write a submission to a judge, and they made the number one problem with it at the moment that most of us see is that the references, when you ask it to do something, the references 9 times out of 10 are actually made up or gobbledygook. That the references, the citations at the end of the article, you can never rely on them being accurate. Always double check them.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. What are specific ways?
Sorry about that. What are the specific ways in which ChatGPT can be integrated into educational environments to enhance teaching and the learning experience?
Again, so it's integrating, really. It can assist you when you come to marking. It can assist with the lesson planning and also content creation. And you can also use it to create tailored learning experiences for students again. So. Like for many years, of course, we go by this Bloom's taxonomy, as we say, that it's kind of a model developed by a psychologist in the 50s, again, Benjamin Bloom, that, at the basic level of this pyramid is that you want students, to remember what you've just said. That's the very bottom. You might lecture on something and then you say, well, what did I just say? What was the point of what we were talking about? And then the very basic thing is that they remember. But of course, remembering is just recall. Some people can recall things very well, but it doesn't mean that they understand them, that they can be like a parrot. But as you move up this kind of hierarchy, this triangle, right to the top is where you want it to be. So the second level after literally recalling and remembering, which usually doesn't last so long, would be comprehension. Well, explain back to me what I said in some context that I know that you understood what I've said. And then that goes right up to create. In other words, when we teach people, we want to impart knowledge so that they understand what we said, we give them some knowledge, and then ultimately we want to impart knowledge that helps them create something. something, so it's useful. So that's the top level again. So ChatGPT can help in a lot of these things again. But of course, the major problem for education is, of course, that that it's used as a tool by students who just use it as their own, an extension of their own brain, and we don't have any idea whether they've learned what we've actually taught them.
Absolutely. That was from the perspective of a student. Could you tell us how does ChatGPT support teachers in their instructional practices and classroom management? From a perspective of a teacher, how can ChatGPT be of use?
Yeah, I have no colleagues who created assessment questions again. So, it can improve assessment questions, and you can generate multiple choice items again. And you can also have it done in such a way that it can be tailored for different students again, because a lot of learners have different type of learning styles as well. And, you can personalize language lessons again. And we're seeing that with the likes of even one of the most famous, the most popular language tools, Duolingo, again. So that's incorporated into it again. So you can actually have more or less personalized teaching with ChatGPT.
Do you think your colleagues, and when I say your colleagues, I mean that more generally, not just at your university, do you think teachers in general are ready to embrace this technology?
It's kind of taken a lot of people by surprise. Because again,
it's taken the world by surprise.
Very, very much it has, especially with the coding aspect, being able to create code and develop systems, and you can just keep iterating again. That you just don't. The thing about it again is that it might develop something or give you back question. You can always keep refining it again. So it's this kind of a new concept of prompt engineering, because again, it's different than a search engine. A search engine, it really doesn't have comprehension, but yet it's strange because it seems to be so intelligent. But it really is a word predictor, but it has read the entire internet, and literally everything that's ever been written, that's been scraped, is in there, and it just comes out with incredible. Look at, there was just a few months ago. Someone asked it a question in an obscure Bangladeshi language, and it didn't know what it was. It went off and learned. It came back and it went off and learned another 1,000 languages and came back with it came back with answers in those languages. And the creators didn't train it to do that.
Wow.
It is really, I keep saying incredible. It really is a game changer.
So would you say that it's game changer to looking at, deep fake and those technologies within AI as well, would you say that it is even a threat in the world of education to teachers?
Yes, it impeaches on so many avenues, so many areas as well. And of course, at the moment we have ChatGPT 4, but 5's coming around, which will have the vision in there. At the moment we have the ChatGPT 2.5 and 3 and 4, but whatever, and they've been text and images, whatever. But now with the next one coming around, it's also going to be trained on video again. So again, like I said, it'll be very hard to trust our eyes in the future and our ears again. And we're seeing there are a lot of sites out there which will enable you to sample people's voices. And it just is able you're able to upload audio, and again, so that it can come back and you think you're talking to someone, and some of this can be done in real time, where I ask a question, you give me an answer, but really it's not you. So in the future, we're going to have code words with our family and colleagues as well. Something that's not there. In other words, to be able to say, look at, how do I really know it's you? And a code word that cannot appear on anything. In other words, that otherwise ChatGPT can never have it. And someone said, again, thinking about the future, someone said, well, as long as we never give it the nuclear codes, okay? And then I started thinking, well, augmented glasses are around the corner. I've had them myself. The glasses with the cameras?
Yeah.
So what's to say that ChatGPT doesn't hack into the augmented glasses, that someone who is wearing them actually has access to nuclear codes, and then it grabs the nuclear codes in such a way that no one ever expected it could. So there's a lot of new thinking that has to come around because of the incredible nature of this.
Yeah, the biggest risk closest to nuclear risk in my house is my safe, which my children might not. I hope they don't get access to by using the codes. So, Kevin, then, do you feel the teachers need training to embrace this technology as well as much as students do?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the average teachers know their subjects very well, but the average person, not everyone's a technical person. So, again, it's a good, at the moment is like I know I've read about one department which generated essays again, and it had the students grade them, but it asked them to look for hallucinated information and critique the analysis as well. And in this particular case, there were 63 essays, and all of them had misinformation, fake quotes, fake sources, and a lot of mischaracterization. So the students could see then that it's not God yet. That in other words, you need this critical thinking to know, what's true and what's not, and that's the problem. So many people would get caught out. They'll submit essays that are created by ChatGPT on subjects that they don't know what would be gobbledygook and what's not. So you have to have some kind of basic knowledge to be able to use this correctly, to be able to see, okay, no, that's not right. That doesn't look right. In other words, anyone who trusted fully, would be quite dumb at the moment. But like everything else, it's like hacking. Hacks always get better. And so does technology. The only technology field I can think of which didn't improve is supersonic commercial airlines again. We had Concorde in the 60s.
Yeah, we've gone backwards.
There's nothing like it right now. The only thing that didn't progress is actually supersonic flight. Everything else has gone exponential.
Perhaps you should ask ChatGPT to create one. So, right, Kevin, thank you so very much for joining us. It was such a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you very much again for joining us on a bank holiday Monday. So, really appreciate your input and views. It was a pleasure speaking to you. Have a great, lovely bank holiday Monday. Peace be with you.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. So that was Kevin Curran, who is a professor of cybersecurity and executive co-director of Legal Innovation Center at Ulster University, talking to us about both the benefits and challenges of ChatGPT. Right.